My name is Pearl Pillay. I'm a master's politics student here at Wits University. My question specifically is to you, Dr. Ramphele. We've heard rhetoric around how education under the apartheid system was better than it is now. To my understanding, Bantu education told black students that all they could be was garden boys and factory workers. Today, in institutions such as this, we're telling those same black students that they can be doctors like you. I'm a product of that education system. I would like from you the evidence to sustain your claim that apartheid systems of education were better than this one. Thanks.
Dr. Ramphele.
Today's education is good for those who can afford to go to the schools where you pay. If you belong to the 80% of poor students in this country, you really get the 30%, 40% education. I know because I travel villages and townships. We have destroyed the futures of millions of young people. The dropout rate in our school system, we start with 1.2 million students. We end up with 500,000.
All right, Dr. Ramphele, I think you've made a point.
My name is Justice Rantsung Komo. I'm an African. My question goes directly as Bluetooth by the latter announcement to the DA. I would like to know, beyond rhetoric of fighting apartheid in the struggle and beyond rhetoric of pipeline affirmative action, what has DA exactly done to deal with, number one, the national question of race, number two, the gender struggle, because of the representation of people who are given opportunity to lead the DA within
Thank
the
you very
Western
much
Cape
indeed.
is
To the
not necessarily
Democratic
visible.
Alliance, what have you done in terms of the race and the gender debate, to paraphrase very quickly?
Well, we certainly support the rights of women and have supported empowerment programs when it comes to both women and to people who are disadvantaged in South Africa. And we've put together systematic support programs of that kind. We've also been very careful about improving the education system, and so that the biggest and most important route out of poverty and out of disadvantage is, in fact, to have an excellent education system. We certainly run one in the Western Cape, and it is one of the best performing, if not the best performing, in certain areas like maths and science education, and creating the number of bachelor's passes out of the schooling system, and through that diversify the talent pool of the country to deal with both those who are disadvantaged on a
Dr.
racial
James,
basis.
thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Slailo. I'm a media studies graduate and a member of Agang. My question is to Gwede Mantashe. You said that we can't deal with inequality without addressing poverty and unemployment. Do you think you condoning Nkandla and the 33% pass mark that the ANC has infringed on all of us is the right way to go as the first step in the ANC in fixing this problem?
The first thing that you must appreciate is that there is no pass rate that is 33 and 10%. That is, no. Give me my minute.
Audience, if I can ask you please to let Mr. Mantashe speak.
You'll
Thank
give my
you.
minute back. What is there, factually? If you don't have 450% pass in matric, you can't go to university. You don't go to university with 30%. If you don't have a minimum of 40% in 4 subjects, you can't go to a university of technology. Anything below that, you can only be redirected to FET colleges. That is the first thing. Let me deal with Nkandla a little bit. What we can condone is inflation of prices when you do business with government. Whether it is Nkandla, whether it is the Sports World Cup Stadia, whether it is a hospital in Kimberley, whether it is St. Elizabeth's Hospital in the Eastern Cape, inflating prices when you deal with government is treasonable.
Thank you.
My name is Oliver Dixon from the Wits Debating Union. Open question. While the DA has been criticized for protecting white capital under their free market ideology, and Agang getting money from Massachusetts to fund their campaign, and while the ANC had lost 30 billion rand of our money and boiling hard on Gupta money, while the EFF has no financial and economic credibility under Julius Malema, What are political parties doing to break down white capital, not stimulating corruption through their mechanisms, but making sure that inequality does not get higher under our Gini coefficient?
Okay, so it's a question of balancing, on the one hand, growth as far as the economy is concerned, Gwede Mantashe, but without falling victim to the scourge of corruption in South Africa.
No, let me start off by drawing a distinction. Between...
Please let Mr. Mantashe speak.
Let's draw a distinction between what I call rhetoric and practical policies. Because if you talk of redistribution of wealth, it doesn't mean you rob white business and hand over to black business. The BEE and affirmative action policies of the ANC deal with that issue because you must grow organically and be involved and be practical in the development of your wealth. And if you don't, you are going to steal wealth. And that's why we make a distinction between tenderpreneurs and entrepreneurs. And our view is that let's invest on entrepreneurs when it is growing from 0 to 21% ownership in the JSE. That should be consolidated and built on that foundation, because that is a solid foundation. It cannot be about land grabs, because the examples that we've seen of land grabs translated into a disaster of importing everything from yellow maize to tobacco.
Dr. Ramphele, if you'd like to pick it up, please. Thank you.
The ANC has created a culture of tenderpreneurs, of corruption, which has not generated the wealth that would grow our GDP, but slicing the same cake smaller and smaller. We talk about creating new enterprises, and those enterprises are going to be built by people with skills who are able to employ themselves and to employ others. The FET colleges are producing people with pieces of paper that can't actually be employed by anybody nor create any job. And you also lumber a lot of young people with debt because the NEFSAS that used to work is now so corrupted that only well-connected people get access to those.
Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Wilmot James.
The ANC is very good at over-regulating the economy. Everything that moves, they regulate and stifle growth and stifle entrepreneurship and use mechanical formula to create outcomes, whether it's with BEE or affirmative action. What's required is to free the energy of the economy. What's required is to have more competition within the economy and more opportunities for small businesses that need to be supported in order to become part of the wealth-creating machinery. Okay. That is what's required. Thanks.
Dr. James, you were either overcome with emotion or there was a frog in your throat. I'm not quite sure.
My question is based on the findings of the PP regarding eNCA. And this evening, Gwede Mantashe, comrade, I want you to be very honest in this house. Do you think eNCA report did dent the image of African National Congress and the legacy of Nelson Mandela? Please be honest on this answer.
I've read the Public Protector's report. I've read the Interministerial Task Team report. I've compared them. I pick up what they agree on and what they don't agree on. They agree on 5 issues. The first one is that the private dwellings of President Jacob Zuma were not built with state money. That's what? Wait. No,
Please let the representative speak. Thank you.
That is what the public protector said. It's not me. No. Number
Mr.
two.
Mantashe, many people don't like what you're saying.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't need to tell them
Again,
what.
please let him have his say.
I don't need to tell them what they like. I have to state facts. Yeah. Because people must read these reports to be able to attack them. Number two, it says, when the president of the ANC said in Parliament, he has a bond. Indeed, the public protector checked the bond and found it declared. Thirdly, he says his brothers did not benefit from the project. Fourthly, it says there was no political interference.
Again, audience, if I can ask you please to let Mr. Mantashe speak. Mr. Mantashe, I would also ask you, sir, to address the question at hand. Did the report damage the reputation of the ANC? Again, if we could have silence now, and please let him answer the question.
You'll have to give me my minute back. And then where they disagree is on 5 issues again. One is the question of...
Excuse me, the question asked is not about the reports.
Mr. Mantashe,
Answer the question.
again, Mr. Mantashe, the question was a very simple one. Has the report damaged the reputation of the ANC? It's a yes or no answer. Again, Agang, if I can ask you to be quiet. For a third time, Mr. Mantashe, let's try and get an answer.
Should we do the same when Mrs. Mamphela is responding? Should we do the same? Yes. I think you don't need to be rude to make your point. Now, no, I wanted to talk to facts because answering your question requires you to unbundle it. But I can say, in as far as it is relegated into a report not about the project, but a report about Zuma, yes, the ANC had to deal with that damage. But